What if I told you that one of the best tools to improve your photography comes at the price of a couple of cups of coffee? Photography can be so very rewarding, but at the same time, it feels like every single piece of equipment has been engineered to scrap through your savings, and it slows you down terribly. Buy the best camera you can afford, pick the right lens for the occasion, and pack the filters in the right size, make sure that batteries are charged and SD cards are empty. So many of those little steps that just fill up brain capacity. This is why I decided to introduce a new piece of gear in my kit. It is very much affordable, customizable, and versatile, and definitely will help me support my photography and my development as a photographer. Spoiler alert, it's something I seem to have quite an addiction for. Enter the notebook. Hundreds of cover, dotted, ruled, squared, printed, blank, pocket size, A3, A4. Feel free to pick whichever format you prefer. The important is that you bear in mind that this is way more than just a bunch of sheets and a binding. This is a sanctuary for your expressions. But enough with poetry, let's get down to business. I'm not gonna call it a bullet journal because that's not really what it is, although there are some similarities. First one of which is the table of contents. I am listing here all of the pages and topics that I'm gonna be covering throughout the journal with the page so that it's gonna be easier for me to find it. We start with an overview of the year to have an idea of when things are happening. And then the juicy part right away. One page to list all of my photoshoot ideas. If I see something that I want to take a picture of, if I see a location in a documentary that I want to take a picture of, if I get inspiration looking at some friends' holiday photos, anything is gonna be listed on this page. Very similarly, we have the destinations bucket list. So where, what, and when. I am working a full-time job and I only have a finite amount of days that I can plot down in the calendar, and it needs to be an informed decision. I don't want to take a week off just because I have the days. If I take time off, I want to know that it is the right period to go somewhere that I really want to go. This is why this list exists. I'm gonna fill this up with places I want to go to, the shot that made me choose that place, and when the best time of year it is to get there. I know for a fact I want to go to either Japan or South Korea to see autumn foliage. So this is what I'm going to be doing. Writing Japan and South Korea in the location column, foliage in the shot, and the time of year is autumn, and so on and so forth. And the beauty of this is that it is time bound, but it's something that I can look back at even 1, 2, 3 years, unless it's a scheduled event that will only happen on a specific date on a specific year. These notes can be carried over to the journal for next year as well. Weekly challenges. I think it's important that your creativity is up and running at all times. You don't want to fall in a rut. I experienced it a couple of times. It's not funny. It makes you doubt yourself. It's just better to fuel creation and creativity as much as we can. For this reason, this year I am experimenting with an app that is called Oblique Strategies. It's a very, very simple concept. You just have to tap the screen and it returns prompts to apply to your art. It can be photography, it can be music, it can be painting, whatever is your cup of tea. And from that prompt, you have to create something. And it basically becomes my mission. By the end of the week, I have to take a picture to represent the content of the prompt. It's a fairly simple thing, but it's gonna improve my lateral thinking, and it's gonna help me finding things and seeing details a bit more. Then, moving on. Photography techniques and editing techniques. These 2 pages are meant to be a collection of all of the techniques that I come across and I want to experiment with. It can be using a specific filter, or editing in sepia colors, or taking pictures of animals at night. It really depends on what I discover as I do research or watch videos or discover new artists. What I've been doing so far was saving either a video or an Instagram post as a reference to go back to later, but the problem is that I have a huge list of bookmarks and I never get back to them because I kind of forget, far from sight, far from mind. This is why I decided to have those 2 pages in the journal, so that I have one central repository of ideas. And hopefully those ideas will get more visibility when written down in here rather than being in a hidden folder somewhere on social media. Photography project planner. So, this spread is meant to be a list to help me remember what to pack for a specific project. If I go to a forest for wildlife photography, I kind of know what to pack because it's a standard setup. I know that I need telephoto zoom lens, I know that I need waterproof clothing because there could be mud on the ground, I know that I need a tripod because I'm just too weak to hold a 200 to 600 millimeter all day. There could be occasions that are extraordinary, let's say, where the standard packing list is not enough. Let's say it's spring and I want to take pictures of blossoms or specific insects. I might need a macro lens for that, and a light and a diffuser, or maybe a flash. Something that I don't normally pack. Then I'm gonna be listing here the material. So I want to be ready for scenarios that I'm not quite familiar with, because I don't want to be wasting time, basically. I want to take advantage of my days out in nature as much as possible. And this, first of all, helps me offload thoughts from my brain. It's one less thing that I have to worry about. And it allows me to enjoy the preparation more. And second, it makes me feel like I did my homework. It makes me feel ready when I'm on location. This is some food for thought, let's say. On this page, I want to write down quotes, thoughts, and themes that I feel I can relate to, that I think are relevant, that I want to explore more, or maybe that I just enjoy because they are witty. These pages are a bit more practical. We have the months divided in quarters, and this is gonna help me plan for my stock photography contributions. I am listing here what happens normally during the year, so all planned events, and I will start working backwards from there for submitting pictures. So in March I have spring and flowers, because this is where in the northern hemisphere spring starts and flowers are blooming. I want to have my pictures of spring and flowers already uploaded and ready to be found by March. This means that I need to start working a couple of months before on the portfolio, on the submission, for those pictures to be up on the website by the time that they are relevant. This is for me to plan month by month. I have one page with all of the days in January here, and another page to remind me of tasks, events, or notes. Whatever is gonna happen in January will end up here, and those pages are gonna be replicated for all of the months. I'm gonna use those to get a bird's eye view on my trips or specific projects that I'm working on, and basically plan more in detail. So, there it is. What do you think? I believe this will help me immensely grow as a photographer, because it's gonna act as a sort of second brain, and I can see its potential when it comes to decluttering my mind. All of the planning is gonna be in here, all of the notes, all of the visions and things that I want to have a look at a later stage because I don't have time in that specific moment. All of the reminders, all of the deadlines, not to mention all of the knowledge that I will come across in my journey. This will be a repository for that, a place where I can go back to and check. I want to be in a situation where I'm on location and I don't have to worry about anything else. I want to free my mind from logistics and just be out there enjoying taking pictures. If you have any tips, any recommendations on more spreads that I can integrate in the journal, leave them in the comments. I am very keen on learning more and adopt new approaches, always open for that. But yeah, this is how I set it up, and I hope this was useful for you. And it's all for today's video. I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.